ho ho ho! And welcome to the Christmas banner review spotlight. We're going to be going over all the characters and bringing cheer and jolly and everything to all of you guys. Hope you guys out there have a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holidays, whatever you guys celebrate. I hope it's amazing and you have great times with your families. Remember guys, this banner that does have some exclusives on it, meaning and time-framed units, meaning they'll only be here for the banner. So the 2 Christmas holiday units will be gone and they'll never be able to be got again. So if you really are a collector, it doesn't matter how good they are, pick them up before it runs out. So let's get into the review, guys. The first character we're going to talk about on this banner is a 3-star base. Sirius is going to be on this banner, and yes, we're serious. The puns are coming. Also, you know, she got her 6-star upgrade, so I thought it would be great if we just go ahead and go over everything that happened with that. Sirius goes from 3-star to 6-star now, which is pretty good because she will have 6-star stats. However, Sirius, I don't think will be a staple on your team. Sirius is going to be like a tag-in special unique times you're going to need Sirius, and we'll go over why in a minute. TM is called Miracle Shoes. Not the greatest TM ever. Going to give you, you know, auto regen, auto brave, and I think auto protect. These abilities are all, you know, they're taken over by your embolden, your cheer, all the other buffs you guys do. So Miracle Shoes probably not worth farming up too much, but maybe when you farm everything else in the game, you want to get Miracle Shoes, go ahead and have at it. Again, she just got her recent 6-star upgrade, and she got the ability dual cast, and we all thought it was going to be dual cast green magic. Turns out it's just dual cast, so she can use magic twice in one turn, which is amazing. So it opens up her to black magic, green magic, and white magic dual casting. Pretty awesome. She also has a dark resist to add it with her 6-star, giving her 50% and petrify immunity for 3 turns to all allies. So essentially, if you're fighting a boss that does a lot of dark damage, you're going to be able to use you're going to be able to use Sirius, to be able to increase your dark resist and then petrify immunity. So even maybe there's a boss that petrifies you a lot, or maybe in the arena you're sick of getting petrified, you can just cast this and you'll be safe from that. So we'll go over essentially what Sirius is used for. Sirius is a character that's used for big elemental damage fights. So she has a lot of things like the Bar Thundaga, Bar Blazaga, Bar Faraga, things like that. So she's going to be able to stop those elements from hurting you. So that's the reason I say she is going to be good in certain situations against dark bosses, fire bosses, blizzard bosses, thunder bosses, lightning bosses, things like that. So that if you need that extra defense, if they are hitting you a little too hard, you can protect the whole team and use dual cast magic, the green magic, and cast it all twice. Also, on top of that, there's supposed to be a rod coming out that can give Cura or something like that I've been hearing about. And then if you could do that, you can just use Cura with dual cast also, and that'll be a lot of heals too. So Sirius, pretty good. Also, the limit break of Sirius is awesome. Increases all elemental resist by a certain percent to all allies. Pretty good, gonna buff up everything, so that's not a bad one to be using. So it's not the worst limit break in the world, but it's not a character that's gonna be in your team forever or like take the place of anybody. It's more of a ringer, gonna come in when you need her. So next up is our other 3-star base that we got a 6-star upgrade that's on the banner, and Medius, the dual-wielding desperado, looking awesome. But he actually doesn't dual wield in the game. Even with his 6-star, he didn't get dual wield, which is kind of disappointing to a lot of people. We'll talk about his TM. He is a physical damage dealer, by the way. We'll talk about his TM growth egg. This is one that's highly debatable. In my opinion, not worth it at all. Medium tier to low tier. A lot of people are like, no, Clayk, it's actually worth more. It gives you experience 1.5 times experience. You're going to get way more experience if you equip this to a character, and they stack up. The problem is that it's only used in battle, so you'd most likely be wanting to use this in, you know, in exploration experience, because you don't get the 1.5 times when you go to like enhance them with metal gigantoirs or cactuars. On top of that, this game provides us with a lot of metal gigantoirs and cactuars. So again, maybe a mid tier, maybe you want to get a couple of these. Maybe if you get a lot of Medius trying to pull for the Christmas exclusives, you might be able to fuse them into a growth egg and it might help you in the future, but for me, just not one I want to look at. Again, everybody has different opinions. Now let's go into the character Medius, which is super disappointing for me. They had a lot of potential to make him awesome, and they talked him up in that video, and he's not. He can only equip throwing weapons or guns, which has limited him very much to what he can equip. And then he has draw attacks for some reason. It's like, come on, shoot me, baby. Shoot me. Yeah, if you get shot or you get hit, you're gonna die, Medius. You're weak. You're like, you're squishy. You have nothing else. You have no way to dodge anything or anything like that. He does work around a lot of critical, which could be good if we can, you know, if we can work on that. He has a lot of ways to increase his critical rate. They did give him Gunmaster, which is cool. You know, he gets 20% to his attack with guns, but even so, he just doesn't stack up to anybody else. He seems like he's a chaining boss, though. He has Blazing Glory, which is his big attack. He didn't even get a level 100 attack. Everyone at 6-star has level 100 attack, but Medius, I feel like what the heck? Physical damage 1 times 8, and ignore defense 30%, so that's just going to add to the multiplier to one enemy. So, not that good. He has a Hyperfire, 2 to 5 physical damage, so I guess it's random. 2 to 5 physical damage, 0.8 each to random enemies, so it's kind of like a barrage, but really shitty barrage. So, again, overall, I'm not going to really get into this too much. Yeah, his limit burst just does a flat physical damage to all enemies. Nothing too special there. Maybe the crits will make him stronger, but right now he just seems like a huge disappointment, and just like, ugh. So that's the booby prize of this one. You just don't want to see Medius, I guess. Now let's get into the exciting stuff, the global Christmas exclusives. First, we're going to talk about Santa Rosalia, coming in at 4-star base, going up to 6 stars. So we already had 2 3-star bases, and then we have a 4-star base, guys. So maybe not that hard for you guys to pull. Santa Rosalia is coming in, and she's going to be a healer for you. Trust Mastery, the best Trust Mastery on the banner, guys, by far. Pure Heart, 15% to HP and MP. Okay, so your HP and MP are going up by 15%, and then your Spirit's going up by 20%. I think this is one of the best in slots for healers, and one of the best in slots for tanks too. Obviously, there's a 30% HP, but I mean, you're getting MP, and then you're also getting Spirit, so it's going to add to your tankiness, it's going to add to the amount of heals you can do, and it's just going to add overall to the greatness of your character. So Pure Heart, very, very good TM. I would farm the crap out of these if I got any. Moving on. Overall, Santa Rosalia is weird to me, okay? Santa Rosalia is just like, in my opinion, really close to Rosalia, her Rosalia counterpart, you know, getting 6-star upgrade though. Mostly heals, does have the ability to dispel Asuna, things like that, so that's really good. Kuraja, we want those on our healer. But then other than that, there's some weird stuff going on here. So, she has Blessed Heart, 40% chance to counter physical and magic. So she gets hit by physical or magic attack with Blessed Heart 40% of the time. She's going to self-status cure herself, so she's going to Asuna herself, plus 100% all resist for 2 turns to herself. So, she does get snagged by an enemy or, you know, touched. She may, 40% of the time, cure herself with an Asuna, and then boost up all of her elements by 100%. It makes your healer more reliable, so you don't have to worry about your healer going down or anything like that. But we have other ways to do this, guys. We have things like Ribbon, you know, the Tilla TM and things like that. So there are other ways to do this, but I mean, it's built into her kit, which is awesome. Anything that has a chance that's built into the kit and is extra always just adds to the value of the character. So that's okay. And then we have a another one that's plus 30% Spirit, plus 1 limit burst per turn. It's called Heart of Conviction. Sorry. Okay, we're going to have 30% Spirit up, so she's going to have a lot of Spirit, you're going to be able to do a lot of healing and take less magic damage, and her limit burst is going to be going up every turn by 1 more, so pretty strong. She hasn't Trust, which means she can throw that limit burst maybe to your Noctis or your Cecil if you want to be able to boost up your stats on your team. Healer's Resolve, self minus 30% attack, so she's going to make herself lower her attack, but we don't care about that, right? Plus 60% Spirit for 4 turns, so it's going to give her a lot of magic resist and a lot of Spirit to do mega healing. But again, Spirit isn't that big of it's a big deal when healing, but it's really not. Like, the healing factor is just weird. It's just, a lot of Spirits is not that great anymore these days. And then she has Divine Grace, 30% chance to counter physical and magic. So we have a 40% chance to counter physical and magic with Blessed Heart, and now we have another one with 30% chance to counter physical and magic. Heal back. So she has a 60% chance after the 30% chance. So once the 30% chance procs when she gets hit, she has 2 things she can do. One at 60%, one at 40%. 60% of the time, she's going to heal herself for a lot. She's going to heal herself back up. So essentially, I think she will heal herself back to full. 40% chance of the time, she's going to do a mass AoE heal, and it's going to do a lot of healing too. So, again, overall, you don't want your support getting hit. You don't want your healer getting hit. You have things like Provoke, Draw Attack, things like that on your tanks to get it away from her. But I guess they're saying, you know, if she would get hit, she has ways to respond back. Overall, guys, I would rate her definitely below, you know, Refia till 6-star coming out. You know, maybe right above, you know, Lena, possibly, yeah, because she's a 6-star, she has a lot of healing. You would have to pair her with somebody else who could raise someone, because she doesn't have raise. And then she also doesn't have a way to buff up your team, so you have to have a buffer too. So, overall, guys, not the best in the world, not the best in game. We already have Refia and we have Tillith on the horizon. 4-star chance of being a unit that you can get on the Christmas banner. Plus, she looks sick and she has great TM, so I'd say overall kind of okay. She's definitely an upgrade to you guys still out there using Lena, Finna, you know, all those people out there. Alma, if you're still using Alma somehow, you know, she's an upgrade for you, so there's that. But overall, not the best character now. Now, let's talk about that Magitech Rudolph Man, White Knight Noel. I'm actually pretty excited about this character. I know a lot of people are kind of bummed with the whole banner, but I'm excited to get my hands on him and try him out. He comes in at 5-star base, going up to 6-star. He is a mage tank, like, I don't know which one to call him more, a tank or a mage. He's kind of both mixed into one. He has a trust mastery called Ice Rosetta. Ice Rosetta. It's going to give you plus 50 to your magic and defense. Flat stat 50. Insane. And then on top of that, it's going to give you like an ice resist up. So a lot of this White Knight Noel stuff is going to be around buffing up your your wind elements and your ice element resist against things like that. Let's look down. His stats are actually pretty strong. He actually has more HP and about the same defense as Cecil at 6-star, which is pretty awesome. He does have 50% down and resist to fire, and then he has up resist to ice and wind, so maybe against a fire boss he wouldn't be the best to bring him in on. So let's go over some of his abilities. He has attract automatically, so he's going to attract 30% lightness to be attacked. So when he's on your team 30% of the time, the boss is going to be like, yeah, I'll hit you. So he's going to hit him, so it's pretty good. He has Ice Blast, Ice Magic, multiplier, and decreases the ice resist by 30% to one enemy. So, maybe on a team where you're going to try to do, Blizzaga chaining, he could be good. He can lower down the ice resist on the opponent. So that's just something extra in his kit. He has Gale Blast, which is essentially the same thing for wind. So if you want to pair him up with maybe a Bartz, he can go in there and lower down the wind resist, then Bartz can go ham with his wind damage. Pretty cool. He has an ability called Rune Protector. Increases his magic by 15% if he equips a rod. So he actually can equip rods and stuff like that. So you can build him kind of magey and tanky. Or defense plus 15% when you equip him with a light shield or heavy shield. And I think you could do both, right? You could do both of these. So you can equip him with a rod, put some spirit on it, and then, have some magic on it too to get him up by 50% on his magic. And then on his other hand, he's going to have a shield, and that's going to be 15% up to his defense. So that's really, really strong. That's a great passive to have on a tank, and then like a tanky mage, because he's actually going to be able to do some damage, guys, I think. He's actually going to have high magic stats. I think his base magic is only like 9 under X stats base magic, so pretty damn good stuff there. He has the ability Bring It On, which is a great tank ability. Increase the lightness of being targeted by 80%, and reduce physical damage by 50% for 3 turns. So you no longer need to put Golem on him. You don't have to if you don't want to. Golem was there for the protect for tanks and a little bit of tankiness with defense and stuff like that. But now that he has his own provoke Bring It On, you could throw like Ramu on him. Sorry, I can't talk right now. And then he could have even more magic or something like that, or more spirit for magic resist. And remember, guys, when you use Bring It On, you're just going to take 50% less damage, which is an insane mitigation for 3 turns. Just gross. Then he gets Winter Guardian. Once he gets this passive, HP plus 20%, pretty damn good, and then increases the resistance to Petrify and Silence by 100%. So he's not getting petrified, he's not getting silenced. This guy leveled up all the way is going to be bonkers, guys. In my opinion, I think he's really cool. Tactical Gear, increased defense 30% when equipped with a light armor or heavy armor. So if you have heavy armor or light armor on, you're going to have your defense up by 30%. But if you want to be more of a mage, if you have a robe on him, your magic goes up by 30%, which is, I think I'm always going to go with the defensive one because he's already attracting damage to himself with attract, 30% of the time, even if you don't use Bring It On. But, there may be times when you just want to go ham with him and go on magic and go ahead and put that robe on him, I guess. He has Glacial Wave, Ice Magic damage with a pretty nice multiplier, and Paralyze 30% to all enemies. Think about going in the arena with White Knight Noel and then using Noctis. Using Noctis, Blizzard Flask, and this guy, you're going to have 30% chance each time to all enemies to freeze them, stop them. We got Paralyzed and then you have Stop. It's just insane to me. Like, the amount of, status element effects that are happening now that are AoE in the arena are going to be nuts. Ribbons are going to start becoming more important. Tillith's TM are going to be more important. You can't stop, but you can stop Paralyzed. So, and then he has this big level 100 ability. It's called Winter Palisade. Sorry, guys. I'm actually learning some of these for the first time myself. Thoroughly. I looked over this stuff. Counterattacks 30% with Noel's Judgment. So 30% of the time he's going to counter with Noel's Judgment, which has all these different things that he could do. 30% chance to use Ice Blast, 30% chance to use Blizzaga, 20% chance to use Glacial Wave, and then here's his cool one, 20% chance to use Sub-Zero. Ice Magic damage times 2. Paralyze 100%. and reduce the ice resistance 50% for 3 turns of that one enemy. So that's gonna hit hard, paralyze them, and reduce their ice resist, which is awesome. But again, it's a 30% chance to counter, and then you gotta proc that 20% chance to do Sub-Zero. So, kind of weird, but it's cool that it's in his kit, man. That's just something else that when he gets hit, because he does get hit often, he could counter back 30% of the time. And we've seen with the people like Lightning, Lunith, you know, Noctis, that does proc often because they do get hit. So that's pretty good. He can also use things like Blizzaga and Ariaga. Those are great wind damage, the top wind damage and ice damage abilities. And then he has a really nice limit break, actually. Increase defense and magic by 50% for 3 turns and recovers MP 30 to all allies. So, you know, he's gonna, if you don't have that buff on, he's gonna put up your defense and magic by 50%. Most of the time, you're not buffing yourself up by that much anyway, so that's gonna cover, you know, more so that's gonna be the buff that takes over. And then you're gonna recover MP 30 to everybody, so, you know, who doesn't want more MP, so that's gonna be awesome. So, overall, I think this character is actually pretty sick. I think that you could build him as an off tank, you could build him as your main tank, you could build him as a magey tank, and, like, just do some damage. In the arena, this guy's gonna be boss. As far as in the actual game, I still think he'd be good. Like, I think that he could be useful in some fights, especially against, you know, some enemies that, you want to go all ice ham on them. You know, if they already have their resist down on ice damage, you know, lower it more or something and just go ham on them, or wind damage, things like that. He does pair with certain characters as well that do ice damage and wind damage. But overall, I really like White Knight Noel. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, guys, that's the Christmas banner. Overall, should you pull one in? I don't think so. I think you should save your tickets from this raid coming up. I think Orlando is on the horizon, guys. This is my message to you guys out there. No matter what they throw at us, if you really want Orlando, I think he's coming by the end of next month, January, or in middle of February, something like that. He's coming soon. So just be ready, be prepared. It's going to be soon, I think. So if you want to save your tickets for that badass, just skip this part, skip these, this banner. Do remember, though, that you will get a bonus from using these banner units, but maybe you already have a Medius and a Sirius laying around, or Sirius, excuse me, laying around that you can put on your team to get that bonus anyway. But yeah, again, overall, I don't think you should spend it unless you're a collector or you actually really like some of these characters and you really want them. It's kind of a lackluster banner. Even White Knight Noel, who I think is awesome and I think has a lot of potential, things like that. He's not stellar. He's not like somebody I could be like, yes, you need to pull for him. So I would say no overall. To the average player, do not pull in this banner. But it's Christmas, so who knows? Who knows what you guys are going to do? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you're pulling on this banner or which of the characters you like the most. And then subscribe for future content. We'll see you guys later. Farm this. And there's also the chance, there's actually the chance that Santa Rosalia and White Knight Noel can actually be summoned by buying like special tickets out of the like Santa Claus tickets, I guess you call them, the Christmas tickets, and then they come in their own pool, and you don't actually spend lapis or summoning tickets on them. You spend this like, you know, Christmas tickets on them to summon them. They were like that for Final